everybody, SonGoshuaku here, ready to review Night 2 of WWE WrestleMania 41. Alright, so we kick things right off with Stephanie McMahon coming out, very much like Triple H came out to introduce WrestleMania. She mentioned how WrestleMania 9 took place when she was 16 years old, and then here at WrestleMania 41, she is now basically has her daughter, her and Triple H's daughter, their youngest daughter, is 16 years old as well. So it is really incredible when you think of it from this standpoint, just how much time has gone by. But from there, we kick things right off with our very first match of the evening for the WWE Women's World Championship. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. So this was, as I mentioned in my Night 1 review, one of the matches that I was looking forward to the most, one of the very four, because you know the women in this match were absolutely going to completely tear the house down, and Bianca Belair, who I've deemed Miss WrestleMania, honestly, she is always putting on banger after banger. So the audience is very much loud for Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. However, they are booing Bianca Belair, which was not just an international thing, but has also become an American theme. So for whatever reason, the live attendance audience basically here, they are just, man, they are not having it for Bianca Belair, and it's just what it is. But it was really cool. She had a really cool entrance and everything. Particularly one of the people that was there was her stepdaughter, so that had to be a truly emotional moment. Shout out to Earl, we got him in the chat. I think he mentioned something about Dom, which yes, we're gonna get to that one later, but yeah, thanks for joining. You were in the stream last night, we appreciate it. He says women's match might have been the best match the whole weekend besides the main event last night. You know what, man, I definitely have something very similar to say, because I think you might be right on that. So yeah, going through here, we got all three women really basically came out the gate swinging in this triple threat match. At one point, Bianca Belair does 3 consecutive suplexes, holding Io up for like the first 2, and then marching around for the third one, and then finally releasing her. So crazy power. Bianca and Rhea, they even pull off, do the spot where they would run into each other and grab each other by the hair in midair, basically, and then slam each other's face into the ground. So that's something that they've done in their NXT matches. They did it in the Royal Rumble, so it's really cool to see that spot and everything. The match is filled with a lot of great counters after great counters, which tends to be a big part of Bianca Belair's matches for WrestleMania. Just incredible counters. At one point, Rhea Ripley, she goes for the riptide on the top rope to Io, but takes way too much time, causing Io to reverse Rhea off of the rope to her back, and Io goes then for the moonsault, only to land and bounce right off the Rhea Ripley's feet. And every time they do this spot, it is incredible, because man, Io just goes flying right off of Rhea Ripley's feet from there. And this is causing her to go, this causes her body to ricochet into Bianca Belair's KOD, but Rhea Ripley breaks up the pinfall. The audience was really getting them a huge standing ovation at this point and doing the "this is awesome" chants. And man, yeah, the crowd was definitely lively for this match. From here, Bianca, she starts smack talking Rhea Ripley that she works harder than she does, and eventually the match goes to a one-on-one with Rhea and Bianca Belair. Rhea, she gives Bianca a headbutt, but from there is sending her outside the ring. And then yes, this causes her to send outside the ring, and Io tries to take advantage with a reverse Hurricane Rana, but Rhea Ripley is able to power her up over her head, causing Io to go face first into the head first into the turnbuckle, the turnbuckle, like the metal post of it. Incredible, insane spot. And then the ending sequence here is crazy. Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley are jogging for position, trying to hit each other with their finishers, but Bianca gets the upper hand when she uses her ponytail to hair whip Rhea Ripley. And you guys know, when Bianca Belair does that hair whip, bam, it sounds like, man, just whoo, it's a crazy sound. But before she can score a pinfall, Io actually hits the moonsault on the top rope, knocking both of them out, and then she pins Bianca Belair for the 1, 2, 3. Thus, unfortunately, Bianca Belair is no longer undefeated at WrestleMania, having taken her first pinfall loss, and Io Sky retains the WWE Women's Championship. These three ladies absolutely killed it, and having seen the entire show now, both nights 1 and 2, I can honestly say this was the best women's match of the entire weekend. And honestly, just like Earl said in the chat, quite frankly, we'll see where I put it in my ranking list, but it's going to rank up there really high. Just probably one of the best matches all weekend. Very proud. All three of these women are top notch, and you knew they were going to absolutely deliver. It is unfortunate to see Bianca Belair's winning streak lose. Her winning streak in right here, because I think there was a lot of potential left. I was thinking that, hey, you could have Bianca Belair go on to 5-0. You can go into New Orleans next year, which is where Asuka lost her undefeated streak, which is where The Undertaker lost her undefeated streak. And from there, you could really build off Rhea Ripley versus Bianca one-on-one. Will Rhea be able to do what no other woman by that point in the company would have been able to do? However, nonetheless, Bianca Belair is still, no doubt to me, Miss WrestleMania. She's put on banger after banger. Every WrestleMania match has been great, and I think her and Rhea are still destined to do this one-on-one. There's still a great storyline with Bianca Belair in terms of where she can go with Naomi and Jade Cargill. Obviously, they have unfinished Rhea, and Bianca having unfinished business. And hey, Io Sky gets his moment because most likely, I'm pretty sure Triple H did not want us to forget about Io Sky. And so, overall, excellent match to start off things. In the chat, yo, we got my actual brother in the chat. What's good? WrestleMania was great. Women matches were the best. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, shout out. That's my brother, man. We grew up. He got me into pro wrestling back in 1994, and as you can see, all these years later, I'm still very much a passionate fan. So love you out there, bro. Many great times of us bonding growing up watching pro wrestling, and look what it's got me doing today. Let's see. Earl in the chat says, "What is next for Rhea Ripley?" and says, does Rhea Ripley go back to a hardcore heel or face Io at Backlash? Yeah, I could definitely see them going to Backlash. That might be the direction they go. Rhea Ripley, it's gonna be hard to turn her heel. I mean, unless you completely strip away everything people love about her character, unless you turn her to a cowardly heel. Nobody wants to cheer that. But Rhea Ripley, they gave her this kind of like acting like a childish gimmick, and it got over. Fans were still more into Rhea Ripley than ever. They might have to go Bianca Belair into the heel, but yeah, this match was fantastic. Probably, honestly, I would definitely say the match of night 2, and possibly the match of the entire weekend. But I'll go ahead and do my rankings for that tomorrow. But yeah, shout out, these ladies absolutely killed it. All right, before we get to our next match, gonna go ahead and take a water break here. All right, so the next match was a Sin City street fight. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. All right, so with this match, a lot of people were, when they first heard Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, there were a lot of fans complaining online. But I was like, let's give it a chance. Let's give it a chance. And to these two guys' credit, I thought they made the absolute best of this storyline, and it did tie into where things were last year when Drew McIntyre was cashed in on by Damian Priest. So I really enjoyed the story, and these guys came out here, and it was a hard-hitting match. Shout out to SMP in the chat. He says, I see a Rhea and Bianca died in the future and Io and Zayn feud. I guess he's saying Rhea and Bianca might team up to take on Io and Zayn. Yeah, they could go that route and stuff like that. Earl also asks, do I do Raw and SmackDown reviews? Only the special Raw, if there's a special Raw or SmackDown, but mostly the big 4 shows. SMP also says the street fight could have been better. Well, getting into this street fight match, yeah, I thought it was hard hitting. At one point, I think someone who was a relative of Drew McIntyre gave Drew McIntyre the phone, so he took a quick selfie with Damian Priest once he's down to the ground, and pretty funny moment and stuff like that. Drew McIntyre, he also tries to break Damian Priest's neck by lodging his neck in between the chair where it supports the back and the part that supports the butt. But he runs into a Claymore, and Damian delivers a one-arm. Yeah, he goes for the Claymore, and Damian delivers a one-arm choke slam. But these guys just go ahead and really, man, they're just hitting hard. Damian, he sends Drew McIntyre through a table with the razor's edge. Drew McIntyre is giving Damian Priest the future shock DDT on the top of the steel steps, hurting both of them. At one point, Damian Priest, he tries to walk the ropes like the Undertaker, and Drew McIntyre, he ends up basically shoving shoving Damian Priest off the middle of the top rope and sending him through 2 tables on the outside of the ring. From here, Damian Priest, he is pulled in between the top and bottom turnbuckles and the edge towards, like, you know, the corner of the ring, and from there a chair is laid next to his head, and this is where Drew McIntyre goes in for the Claymore and gets the 1-2-3 pinfall victory against Damian Priest, avenging his cash-in from last year at WrestleMania 40. Like I said, good job to Drew and Priest. I know a lot of people, they were not excited about this when it was first announced, but like I said, these guys, they made the most of this story, and I think they made the most of this match. So I thought, hey, this was a solid WrestleMania match, and it made sense for the story. Both these guys, they went out there and they made the most of their WrestleMania moment. So that was really cool. And also after the match, there was something announced where Michael Cole also mentions that there will be debuting superstars coming to the main roster, alluding to NXT call-ups for the first time ever. I think that's been done on WWE programming, actually announcing there's going to be some call-ups coming in for NXT. So yeah, anyway, let me go ahead and see what the chat's saying before I go to the next match here. All right, let's see here. Earl says it was Drew, brother. It was Drew. Oh, what Drew? I'm not sure what you were referring to there. Who gave him the phone? Drew. Oh, okay. It's Drew's brother. Gotcha. Thank you, Earl. Appreciate it. It's always good doing these things live because I can't catch everything in my notes. But yeah, that's cool. He got a great moment with his brother and stuff. I was like, my brother, my real life brother here in my chat and everything, supporting me. So cool for Drew to probably have his real life brother go ahead and help him out and all that stuff. So that was awesome. All right, our next match here. Yes, sir. This is another match I was looking forward to. Wasn't in my top 4, but I knew this was going to be an absolute banger. The WWE Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way match. Finn Bálor versus Penta versus Dominik Mysterio versus Bron Breakker. Yes, these 4 guys just went crazy, all-out action from the start. Penta eventually, you know, in this match, he goes for a top rope. He goes for something where he goes flying over the top rope. I think he hit Dominik and Finn Bálor. Correct me in the chats or in the comments if you're watching on demand if I was wrong. But yeah, he did some crazy move out of the ring there. There was some great action from start. At one point, Penta, he goes for a springboard only to get caught by Bron Breakker and by Bron Breakker, and Bron Breakker just slams him quickly to the canvas, almost like the world's strongest slam. Shout out to Mark Henry, all-time great. Pat McAfee on commentary, he then puts over Bron Breakker for being an absolute beast, and he is because when you look at this, man, the standing vertical double suplex that he did to Finn Bálor and Dominik at the same time, I've never seen anybody do a vertical suplex. That means the strength, the balance that has to take to pull off and do that to both of them. Absolute freaking beast. Bron Breakker is such a pleasure to watch in the ring, man. And at one point, we get into the whole, you know, every man for himself trope that you see in these matches when you have 2 teams that are in a triple threat or a fatal 4-way. So Finn Bálor, he's hanging on the ropes because Dominik Mysterio actually takes advantage by drop kicking him into the ropes. And then he goes for the 619, only for Finn Bálor to catch Dominik's feet, and then he sweeps him into the canvas and starts stumping a mud hole and walking and drive like Stone Cold Steve Austin. More about him later, my all-time favorite. Only to get then, he is put into the Penta driver, and Penta nearly gets a fall, gets the fall from there, the count, and it's broken up by Bron Breakker, which then leads to Bron and Penta just trading blows, and eventually he hits the Mexican Destroyer to Dominik Mysterio, and Carlito, he pulls them out, and he's constantly, Carlito, he's being a nuisance through this whole entire match, and Carlito, he tries to go ahead and pull I think it was Braun Breaker through the, no, not Braun Breaker. He tries to put Penta through the announce table, but Braun Breaker. So the way this works, Braun, you got one announce table here and the other announce table here. This is where Penta and Carlito are. Braun Breaker gets on the announce table, runs across, jumps from one announce table to the other announce table, and manages to spear Carlito. And once they land on that announce table, the whole thing just implodes. I'm like, yo, this was an insane, crazy spot. The speed, the power of Braun Breaker, man. Just like I said, he's an absolute pleasure to watch out there in the ring. And then as we get into the oh yeah, and even when that table spot happened, Michael Cole was screaming. He's like, Carlito is dead, and Pat McAfee was just jumping up and down and just like moving his arms and legs like he was going absolute crazy. It's no wonder why his commentary sounds good, because when you look at it, he really gets into the character. Often, like, and for those of you who are anime fans and stuff, well, you know, you hear these dynamic performances of the voiceovers, but when you see the voice actors themselves, they're getting really high, energetic into the microphone. That comes across on the video. And that, I mean, that's what here. You hear Pat McAfee's passion, and when you see what he's doing physically while looking at the show, yeah, he's really into it, and it just helps the overall viewing experience for these commentators. So as we get to the ending sequence here, Dominik tries to hit Braun Breaker with the frog splash, but his legs are pulled right from under him, and you know, he ends up crashing and burning into the turnbuckle, and he's just hanging there. And I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. So they take the action away from Dominik. Finn Bálor, he then hits the sling blade and coup de grace to Braun Breaker. However, before he can get the pinfall, Dominik Mysterio recovers and lands the frog splash on both of them and pins Finn Bálor 1, 2, 3 to become the new WWE Intercontinental Champion. And the audience there in Las Vegas erupts with excitement. And he then, to the point where I don't know if this was planned, but because Dominik's kind of like the sneaky heel, he says, screw it. Dominik runs right back down that long ramp, goes in the ring and gets on top and raises his hand with the Intercontinental Championship, and the audience is going crazy. He was my pick. I put him in the no DQ predictions lead. I did pick him in the no DQ predictions lead, and shout out to Earl, who was also saying Dom was going to win, Earl in the chat. And man, Dominik Mysterio, I can't tell you, I'm proud. You know, going back to when he first debuted at SummerSlam 5 years ago against, against Seth Rollins, you know, you could tell right there, I'm like, the kid's got it in the ring. And I'll admit, it did take him a while to really get comfortable on the microphone and find his character. But man, when he turned heel and he started hanging with the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley, that brought out Dominik Mysterio's character work and just him knowing how to get the heel heat. And man, he became so far. It's clear that Dominik Mysterio went from being Rey Mysterio's kid to all around much better performer in WWE who, hey, it just so happens he's Rey Mysterio's kid. Him being the son of Rey Mysterio is now it's secondary. You see Dominik Mysterio as his own man, and you can tell the audience respects him, because even, I mean, people boo, but the booing has not been as loud. And I think that's because people truly have respect how far Dominik Mysterio has come and how hard he has worked to really come into his own. And I'm glad to see him get his Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, they're going to keep the story alive with him and his father on screen, but you got to imagine that back there Rey Mysterio was just happy and was giving his son a big old hug. Man, Rey, this is just amazing. You know, for people that were doubting Dominik Mysterio years ago and thinking he wasn't going to be nothing, he's just there because he's Rey Mysterio's son. He has really come a long way. I'm so happy to see Dominik Mysterio just come into his own. He has really earned this opportunity to become Intercontinental Champion, and hey, I'm looking forward to where the story goes with him and Finn Bálor now. And then when it comes to Braun Breaker, obviously this was a great way to protect Braun Breaker. He didn't take the pinfall, and I gotta believe Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, even freaking Owafemi and NXT, them guys are on the big things. And Penta, he's already doing some hot stuff right now. So yeah, and I gotta admit, at this point I was thinking like, man, night 2 of WrestleMania 41, as much as I thought night 1 was good, I thought night 2 was at this point blowing night 1 out the water. Just every match, boom, 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 just really hitting it, man. So overall, this was fantastic and a wonderful payoff and a nice career-defining moment for Dominik Mysterio. All right, let me get a sip of water here, and then we'll check and see what's going on in the chat. All right, let's see what we got here. Earl says Dom finally turned on Bálor. They were kind of were playing it up because when Dominik won, you see Finn Bálor right there was basically just happy. He was happy for him. So I think they're going to do the slow build to build up more jealousy between Finn Bálor, and eventually leads to Dominik Mysterio becoming a good guy. So I don't think it was a turn just yet. And you said you called it. Yep, that you did. You say craziest spear I have seen though through the table. Poor Carlito. Michael Cole said he thought Carlito was dead. Yep, I mentioned that. Yeah, Carlito between that spear where Bron Breakker on Raw basically did a whole front flip on him, and to this one, man, yeah, Carlito's been really taking it the blunt of those spears. You say first time I have heard Dom get cheered from the crowd. Yeah, it's respect. You go out there, the audience, when they see that you have worked hard and you have organically gotten over with them, they give you respect, whether you're a face or heel. And I think that's really awesome to see. It had to be awesome for Dominik Mysterio as a performer. And then you say, I could see Dom turn on the Judgment Day and live and go by himself. Could be, yeah. It's interesting. We'll see where Dom and Liv go from here. So it's gonna be interesting. Do they keep them together? They could probably keep them together. We'll see where it all goes. But yeah, this is definitely looking good here. All right, so we get to our next match. Randy Orton versus Say His Name and He Appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I know I got that all wrong, right? I was supposed to do the clap and then go into do it, right? But yeah, so replacing Kevin Owens was history being made. The first time the TNA World Heavyweight Champion showed up to perform live in a WWE event. So yeah, this was huge. So as far as the match goes, it was short and sweet. I put in my notes. Randy Orton, he does his signature moves. Joe Hendry gets to showcase what he can do. But honestly, by far, the thing that this match will probably be remembered for the most, because the most memorable part had to be, and I'm telling you guys, I have not laughed this hard at WWE in a long time, at least probably since the Sami Zayn stuff that he was doing with the Bloodline about 2 or 3 years ago. So Joe Hendry, he does his signature pose where he turns to the back, and then he goes ahead, does his smile, and out of nowhere, Randy Orton comes in, grabs his neck, and he, boom, goes out of frame. Randy just goes like, boom, RKO, 1, 2, 3, picks up the win. I was laughing so hard. I'm still thinking about it. It was one of the it was the funniest WrestleMania. I put in my notes, the funniest WrestleMania ending I've ever seen in a match. And I've seen every WrestleMania, so maybe it's recency bias. Maybe I had to go back and have to be reminded of a WrestleMania match that ended more hilarious than this did. But just to see, he turns around, he's smiling at the camera, and then Randy Orton comes out of nowhere, RKO. Oh my gosh, this was hilarious. This was absolutely hilarious. Randy Orton gets his 20th WrestleMania appearance. The fans were going wild for the RKO. He ends up picking up Joe Hendry afterwards, shakes his hand, and hits another RKO on him. Now, I haven't followed Joe Hendry's career much. I've heard the buzz and everything, and I know that he's the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So I don't think this match it didn't. The match, to be honest, did nothing, I feel, to legitimize the World Heavyweight Championship of this company. TNA, that is. And I watched, TNA going back in like 2005 and stuff. Kind of fell off of around 2014-ish, I think. And then I'll check in every now and then, but I've heard the buzz and stuff like that. But yeah, to those that are not familiar with TNA or don't watch on a regular basis, yeah, this doesn't really do good to actually show why Joe Hendry's a big deal. And when you look at how they had him in the Royal Rumble, how quickly Roman Reigns got rid of him, it's like, man, they did not want their TNA World Champ. They didn't want the TNA World Champion going out here going evenly match blow for blow with Randy Orton. I did, by the way, as you can see, Randy Orton came out with the color the color trunks of what he had when he first debuted. He was kind of like in that shiny blue with the yellow lettering or design on it. That's what he was wearing when he first debuted back in 2002. So that was cool. Yeah, like I said, it was short, sweet, to the point, and it gave us one of the most entertaining RKO moments, not from a wow standpoint, but just from an LOL moment, man. Boy, that had me laughing like a good 2 minutes when that should have been one of the times I probably should have recorded my live reaction, because I could not stop laughing. Oh my gosh, man. That was absolutely just hilarious. Let's see what the chat says. Let's see. You said I could see Dom turn on. Oh yeah, you mentioned that before. Or I read that before. He says best part was when Randy helped him up and then RKO'd him again. Yeah, that was quite funny. So yeah, like I said, not a good showcase for showcasing the TNA World Champion is a big deal. Do you all really think that the World Champions in WWE would go to TNA and get made to look like this, even in a losing effort? It would probably be a very competitive match, at least. But that being said, happy for Joe Hendry. I know he has a lot of fans out there, and I've experienced the huge pop when I was there in Indianapolis at the Royal Rumble. So obviously there is much reason to believe in Joe Hendry. These audience went crazy and they were chanting "Believe" and for him. And hey, for him, you know, he really wants a big match with John Cena, but hey, he got the next best thing, Randy Orton. He got to be on WrestleMania, so for him, it no doubt was a dream come true, especially at the last minute. So that was really cool. And I should mention this, it made sense, because I honestly thought it was going to be Rusev. A lot of people thought this was going to be Rusev's returning, but you don't really want to re-debut Rusev and have him lose in his first match. So it made sense to put Joe Hendry out there. He's someone who would have gotten who did obviously get a huge reaction from the WWE audience, but on top of that, you also got to where okay, he can afford the loss to Randy Orton and it won't kill the momentum, because honestly he might show up in WWE as a full-time star and you can push him more serious then, I guess, basically on that standpoint. But yeah, I think this is the right move. This is the best way to really compensate for Kevin Owens not being in the match, and still keep plans for Randy Orton to look strong. Let's see in the chat, Earl says, I think that match was more for Randy. Certainly, yeah, clearly, because it was his 20th WrestleMania. Yeah, absolutely. It was basically, letting Randy Orton get that big moment for his 20th WrestleMania. All right, so we get to our next match, which was AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. All right, so Logan Paul, he comes out with the drone, with his drone being used as a selfie, and then he launches it into the air, and we get these really cool multi-view angles of him. I thought it was really cool, something we've never seen before, and this is kind of, I guess, what they're seeing in the production truck. And SMP, he does that type of work and stuff in terms of like looking into like TV production and stuff. So you would probably know more than I do, SMP in the chat, seeing the multi-camera view and choosing which shots to call and stuff like that. And then from there, Logan Paul, the two of them, they put on a really great match. As I put it here in my notes, they really showed off their athleticism. Logan Paul, he's being a great heel, showboating with the drone and doing their 360 view landing, some great moves like the buckshot lariat. You're getting the frog splashes. In fact, at one point in the match, he does a clothesline he does a lion saw from one side of the ring and nearly lands to the other side of the ring. Like, the distance he covered on this line shot was truly amazing. Like I said, I don't follow Logan Paul outside of WWE as a lot of my friends do, but I've heard why a lot of people don't like him. But one thing I will have to give him as a WWE fan and watches watches him in the WWE, the man is athletically gifted, and he is just a natural at this for someone of his inexperience. And I've said this constantly through his matches over the years. So that was really amazing. AJ Styles, he in the match, he does another really great showcasing what he can do, breaking out all his dynamic moves. And one point with the storytelling, he's such as when the camera zooms in on, the camera zooming in on his face, and he's just like cursing Logan Paul out because Logan actually had previously sent him in the turnbuckle, but immediately turned his back, thinking that AJ Styles is down. And as soon as he turns around, as soon as Logan Paul turns around, AJ Styles nails him with a lightning quick clothesline. Now, towards the end of the match, Logan Paul's friend shows up with the brass knucks, and then after that, Karrion Kross shows up, and he stops Logan Paul's friend, and AJ Styles goes ahead and lays out Logan Paul's friend, and Karrion Kross, he basically puts down the brass knucks and tells AJ Styles to use them, but AJ Styles, he ends up throwing away the brass knucks, and he ends up laying Karrion Kross out with, I think, a right hand, and Logan Paul, he's eventually able to take advantage of all this recovery time because Logan Paul's able to dodge AJ Styles when he goes for the phenomenal forearm, and then from there, he ends up landing a right hand right to AJ Styles. Of course, everyone knowing Logan Paul's background, playing a huge role, his real life ability to box, playing a role here in his character work. He then delivers the pulverizer for the 1-2-3 to defeat AJ Styles, and that pulverizer move is sick. Honestly, that's really awesome. They said in the commentary, one of the most awesome looking finishing moves in WWE right now. And so I figured Logan Paul was gonna win because AJ Styles at this point in his career, he's probably gonna go ahead and put over the young talent. He just wants to go out there and probably have good matches and everything. So he puts Logan Paul over. This is a good match with these two, and was it the best Logan Paul match I've seen in WWE? I wouldn't say that. I definitely say for AJ Styles, it was one of his best WrestleMania matches because, like I mentioned last year, before that, outside of the match with Shane McMahon, which I attended live in person, WrestleMania 33, I don't think AJ Styles' matches really lived up to that match until you get all the way to his match last year with LA Knight, and then you can throw this match with Logan Paul right up there. These were definitely, those would probably be the three best matches I've seen for AJ Styles at WrestleMania. His match with Shane McMahon, LA Knight, and now Logan Paul. Those are definitely, I think, AJ Styles' best three WrestleMania matches. That was it was a good match, decent match. Let's see in the chat what is being said here. Let's see, I'm trying to find here. Let's see, Earl says, okay, I think this was the worst match of the night. It was slow and then finally picked up, but Paul had some good high-flying moves. He also says the reversal on the Styles Clash was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool with the Styles Clash and everything, reversal. I think I forgot to put that into my notes there. And you say this match was 7 out of 10. Well, I think that's pretty high praise for something that you said was the worst match. And if the worst match you consider to be 7 out of 10, I think that just goes to show you what it comes down to. Because very much like night 1, I felt night 2 had no bad matches. There was not a bad match on this card. Some were great, some were good, but nothing was bad, and that's pretty high testament, I think, to a good show, that when you think the worst match is at best a 7 out of 10, which to me I would say means decent, good, definitely not bad. But yeah, I don't know. I might not be ranking this match as high when I do my ranking video live stream tomorrow. All right, let me take a break of water here. All right, so we were supposed to have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match featuring Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending the championships against Lyra, Valkyria, and Bayley. But of course, they shot an angle yesterday where Bayley was injured, and as a result, she was taken out. Now, unlike Rey Mysterio or Kevin Owens, where they unfortunately got injuries that were outside of WWE's control. This was something that was actually very much intended. Bayley was taken off the card this year despite playing a big role last year. I think she co-main evented night 2. She was a co-main event in night 2. And there was even reports going that a lot of talent felt really bad for Bayley because she's so well respected. So this could only be setting up one return, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is the return of Becky Lynch. Came out to a thunderous ovation. Becky Lynch teaming up with her fellow Irish woman, the Lyra Valkyria, and there you go. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria were a team. So the match itself, I put in my notes here, was pretty good tag team match. Mostly it was Liv and Raquel working over Lyra and trying to constantly prevent Becky tagging in. Eventually, Becky does tag in and kicks out of the oblivion that's delivered to her by Liv Morgan, that being her finishing move, of course. And from there, the match ends when Becky Lynch scores the manhandle slam to pick up the win to become a two-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. And Lyra Valkyria, she has now become Lyra Two Belts, as she is basically pretty much now currently the WWE one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion and the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. And on top of that, it's very fitting, and they mentioned this on commentary, very much like her friend and mentor Becky Lynch there. She has at WrestleMania become Lyra Two Belts, like when Becky became Becky Two Belts back at WrestleMania 35 in 2019, winning the Raw and SmackDown Women's World Championships in the very first ever main event of WrestleMania. So this was really cool. I honestly thought they were always going to eventually team up Lyra and Becky, and why they didn't, why they went this route. Like, I will say this, in SMP, if he's still in the chat, he's mentioned this as well, and I do agree with him. You created these mid-card championships, you introduced them, and you don't have them being defended on the WrestleMania card. Instead, you don't feature your United States Women's Champion, and you take your Women's Intercontinental Champion, and you put her on the show, but you put her in a tag team match, and now you've given her the tag team championships and the Intercontinental title, and it's like, it almost makes people wonder what was the purpose, and, why not put these in a single program. But it is what it is there. I am happy for Lyra Valkyria to know that, she just only has to win the world title, and she's completed the trifecta. Is that called Grand Slam champion? Like, is it Grand Slam champion, or no, it's a Triple Crown champion, I think, right? That's really cool. Cool moment for Lyra. I'm very happy for her. Becky's back. A lot of people kept talking about, is Becky coming back? Is Becky this? I said, listen, Becky Lynch will come back when she's good and well ready. And it turns out tonight, she was good and well ready. No ring rust, even though she's been out of the ring for almost a year. So really good to see this, and I approve of them being tag team champions. Once I knew Becky Lynch was coming out, I'm like, okay, if Bayley's not there, because I'm thinking she was going to take the pinfall, Liv and Raquel both losing the tag team titles, because I thought Liv and Raquel was going to be champions for a long time, but with Becky and Lyra there you go. So I could very well see Lyra losing the Intercontinental Champion soon, because it's very rare that they keep these two-time champions, two-time champs for long. So we'll see how that goes. But this is a really good moment. The tag team match was fairly standard stuff, but that's not what it was about. This was about the moment of Becky Lynch coming back and having a big moment. It's kind of like that ladder match, which I was there in person for, the tag team ladder match, WrestleMania 33. It was about Matt and Jeff, not them out there outdoing their TLC matches from years prior at WrestleMania, but rather, and ladder matches from years prior, but rather just getting that feel-good moment of seeing the Hardy Boys back, and we went crazy for that, and that's what this moment was. So once again, really good fun moment. These mystery opponent matches with Randy and now Liv and Raquel and all that stuff, I would say match wise they weren't anything spectacular. They were mostly just about the moment, fairly standard stuff, and just giving you that moment. A feel good moment for Randy Orton, a feel good moment for Joe Hendry, a feel good moment for Becky Lynch, a feel good moment for Lyra Valkyria. That's what these matches were about. So it's okay, I think, if they weren't all out action. You save that for the matches that were highly anticipated and everything. So I got no complaints about this. All right, let's see in the chat what we got going here. Earl says it was a 7 out of 10 match, or says, oh, no, are you doing Raw? Oh, are you doing the Raw After Mania review? Not unless something particular big happens, but for right now, I'm probably going to be staying to my formula of the big 4 pay-per-views, just because I actually bounced off of this YouTube channel. This is my second YouTube channel. My main YouTube channel is where I used to do all my WWE reviews, but I'm putting all my WWE content on this channel now, so that'll probably be where I put most of my energy towards the main channel. But what I will be doing tomorrow is ranking all the WrestleMania matches from least to best. So I will be having that come on before Raw tomorrow. Let's see. You also say Becky Lynch is back. Yeah, that was fantastic. And you say 8.1 out of 10 tag team match. Yeah. Like I said, the match was it was about creating that big moment of seeing Becky Lynch back and having her sharing this moment with Lyra. Fantastic WrestleMania debut for Lyra Valkyria. So yeah, I'm happy for both women and stuff like that for sure. All right, we get my, as you can see right there, my all-time favorite, Stone Cold Steve Austin, got me up out of my chair being like Jim Ross, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, because I knew this was coming out before the main event. I'm like, oh, are we kicking things off? Is Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out to be a part of the main event? Man, so I'm looking at there and I'm like, wow, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he comes on out, and I was like, man, this is fantastic. Stone Cold, he comes out to a huge ovation. Of course, he lives out there in Las Vegas, and of course they want to utilize him somewhat on the show. So he comes out on his ATM machine, and I feel that unfortunately what this segment is going to be most remembered for is Stone Cold. He comes out and he makes a left turn, but for whatever reason, I don't know if he wasn't looking or he just couldn't get enough momentum. He goes crashing right into the barricade, and there was a female fan that ended up falling down, and you could see there's pictures online too showing that Nick Khan got up to check on her, and even when Steve Austin leaves the segment, he goes to check on the fan to make sure she's okay. So hopefully everything is okay. I imagine WWE is going to do everything in their power to make sure that the fan is well taken care of, because the last thing they need is a lawsuit on their hands, especially with all this money they're bringing in. That being said, Stone Cold Steve Austin gets in the ring looking in absolute fantastic shape, and he says basically that to announce that there was in total of both nights 124,693 people and things like that attended. And he even did a funny thing where he's going to count everybody. He's like, 1, and everybody's like, what, 2, what, 3, what? So, it was hilarious. And then he's like, I know that bull, beep. And so from there, he just announces the attendance, and of course he ends with that classic line, and that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so. So that was cool to see, and he drinks the beer and everything. Always great to see Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's my all-time favorite. Currently on my main channel, SonGoshuaku, I do have where I rank the top 4 Stone Cold Steve Austin moments. Eventually I will end up privating it on that channel and moving it over here to my WWE only / wrestling channel. But yeah, check that out. You can just see how really much I go crazy. Stone Cold Steve Austin, my all-time favorite wrestler, and reason why I'm still a fan to this day. So yeah, my all-time favorite there. So it was always great to see him. All right, so Earl says the reason I said that is Cena said he is going to ruin wrestling on Monday during the press conference after Mania. Wow, okay, so yeah, I haven't seen the press conferences because I was getting prepared for this live stream and everything, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where Cena's heel turn goes from here. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk about the main event of the weekend. for the WWE, or I guess they call it the Undisputed WWE Championship. Let you know which world title means the most there. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. All right, let's be honest. The build up to this match, could have been better, and I got more to say about the build-up when we get to the end of the match, but, Cena and Cody had some good stuff where they threw some bombs at each other and things like that, so that was really cool to see, but then there were other times where it's like it mostly was John Cena going against the fans and everything, and there wasn't much brought up ever about The Rock, so it's like, where is this going? So it lead us to where we got here today in the main event. So the audience comes very much alive with the Let's Go Cena sucks chants and completely erupt once the bell rings. So John Cena, he does a lot of stalling in the beginning while the audience stays electric. Wade Barrett, he even mentions on commentary how it used to be high-pitched voices saying, "Let's go Cena," and then the deep voices, "Cena sucks," and now that it's more in unison and everything, which, yeah, me and my friends used to point that out during the days that we weren't too fond of the whole way John Cena was being booked and portrayed in WWE back when we were like teenagers, early 20s and stuff like that. So yeah, we used to point that out. But yeah, most of the match in the beginning is John Cena methodically beating down Cody Rhodes, doing a lot of X handles, all X handles off the top rope, and even does a tornado DDT from the top rope, showcasing his ability to use moves beyond the 5 moves of doom that many complained about on the internet for years. Once again, growing up, not being much of a Cena fan, I saw these complaints and everything back in the day, but honestly, when Cena wanted to do things beyond the 5 moves of doom, he definitely certainly proved that in his matches. And then from there, John Cena goes for the 5 moves of doom, but very slowly each time. And I will say this, I did like the more methodical pace that John Cena wrestled in this match, because you want to see that he's going to work differently as a heel. And so he wasn't doing the fast pace that he would do with his moves. He was just taking his time and soaking it all in and trash talking to the fans. So that was really cool. And then basically he goes for the 5 knuckle shuffle. And then he bends down for that. When he goes to bend down for the whole "you can't see me," Cody gives him a poke to the eye, and the match starts to turn into his favor. And you can hear audible boos. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boos for Cody Rhodes. And Michael Cole points out that on commentary, a lot of people wanted to see John Cena hit the greatest hits, because even though Cena's a heel, a lot of fans who paid a lot of money, and they paid, especially the front row seats, $25,000 I think I heard for those seats, they paid a lot of money, and so for them, they don't care if John Cena's heel. They wanted to go ahead and see Cena one last time, get that world title. My buddy, the man 0001, who was there live in attendance, I did text him, and he told me that it felt like 50-50, and I could see that, because on the at least on TV, you could audible hear points where they were going back and forth. And then from here, when John Cena comes back on the offense with a drop toe hold, he then eventually does the attitude adjustment, and the audience starts cheering for this. And John Cena eventually even hits a super attitude adjustment from the top rope, which Cody Rhodes kicks out of with the near fall, and the fans boo. When John Cena then goes for the jumping leg drop from the top rope to Cody Rhodes, Cody counters in midair into a power bomb for a near fall, which I think was always the moment that they said is what Batista injured John Cena back at SummerSlam 1998, but he did that spot several more times and never got injured. I think it was covering up for something else that he did that really injured him. So the atmosphere is just crazy, and I will say, out of every match here at WrestleMania, this match probably had the most heat, where fans were just cheering and booing and just going nuts through the entire match and everything. This is the type of energy I would have loved to have seen from every match at WrestleMania, but hey, you can't blame the fans. This, at least, we can say this could have been done better, or that could have been done better about the storyline, but nonetheless, these are 2 superstars that they put a lot of time in investing in, so no wonder why, with that story, fans were really invested. So then from there, John Cena Yeah, after that crazy atmosphere, Cody Rhodes, he then hits the Cody Cutter, only for John Cena to kick out at another near fall. And I think people at this point, fans were chanting, Cody, Cody Rhodes, or they're singing, Cody, Cody Rhodes, Cody, Cody Rhodes, however that goes. So, like I said, the fans were kind of flip-flopping back and forth as far as who they were cheering for. So eventually, John Cena gets the STF in, but Cody Rhodes refuses to tap out. And when Cody tries to pull Cody Rhodes back, Cody ends up kicking John Cena into the referee, causing the referee to get knocked out, and Cody Rhodes then gets the crossroads, but to no avail as the referee is not there to count the pinfalls, and obviously we know this means Shenanigan City. All right, so from there, John Cena, while the referee is down, he takes the turnbuckle pad and hits Cody Rhodes in the head twice, or hits Cody Rhodes' head into the exposed turnbuckle twice. The attitude adjustment he then hits the attitude adjustment and goes for the pin, but Cody Rhodes kicks out at 2. From here, Travis Scott's theme song, Fiend, which is also the official theme song for WrestleMania 41, and I think it was another song by The Weeknd, who's had five now of his theme songs used for WrestleMania pretty much all year, every year in the 2020 so far. Travis Scott, he comes out, and while Travis Scott is taking his sweet time to come down down that long aisle, you see John Cena is just smiling, and I'm just sitting there the whole thing. You're giving Cody Rhodes plenty of time to recover. He is recovering plenty of time. I'm screaming like, you might as well do something. And of course, John Cena ends up, when he picks up Cody Rhodes, he tells Travis Scott to hit him, but Cody Rhodes, he made sweet use of all that recovery time, ducks the hit, and he tries to swing at Travis. Travis jumps off the ring apron, and Cody Rhodes then delivers the crossroads to John Cena and nearly gets the pinfall victory, only because Travis Scott pulls the referee out. And from here, Cody Rhodes then tells Travis Scott to get in the ring, and they go face to face. Travis tries to smack Cody again, but Cody Rhodes delivers the crossroads to Travis Scott and kicks him out of the ring, getting that revenge for getting popped in the face by him. From there, John Cena, he picks up the WWE Championship, but Cody is able to block it and grab the title from him, and Cena starts doing something we've never seen him before. He gets on his knees and he begs. He's begging, don't do it, and Cody, he's struggling. He wants to hit John Cena with the title, but he just can't bring himself to do it, and I'm sitting there at the screen like, F him. Just do it. F him. You know, he effed you up. Now it's your time to F him up. You know, you could imagine if this is Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Attitude Era, you think Stone Cold's gonna be like, I can't bring myself to do it. No. It would have been like, nah. Stone Cold made sure everyone had hell to pay, whether you were a babyface and heel. And those are the type of baby faces I grew up with, and I would have loved to seen that for Cody Rhodes here as a babyface. However, it was not to be, as Cody Rhodes basically ends up throwing the title away, wanting to do it the right way, and John Cena, of course, takes advantage and kicks him right in the balls. You know, there's a great line from, for those of you that are Dragon Ball fans out there, it was in the early Funimation dub, where Vegeta, he tells Goku, he goes like, these are warriors, Kakarot, and they'll do whatever it takes to win the game, referring to the characters, the Ginyu Force, who basically in wrestling terms were heels. More of my Dragon Ball content on my other main YouTube channel, SonGoshuaku. But yeah, I bring that back here into wrestling. Is that line always stuck with me because it's true. Sometimes you can't be that good guy. You gotta fight the bad guys with their own, give them a taste of their own medicine here, and that's what Cody Rhodes should have done, and that's what we've seen baby faces like The Rock and Stone Cold back in the Attitude Era do, and so why Cody Rhodes is not doing it here, no idea why. And from there, Cody Rhodes, now with succumbing to the low blow, John Cena then picks up the WWE Championship belt and he nails Cody Rhodes with it. And the referee gets back into the ring and starts counting, and I'm like, okay, Cody Rhodes is going to kick out on that. It's going to take more than that to beat Cody Rhodes and stuff. And so the referee counts 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, what? Like that? And there it is. John Cena has now become the 17-time world champion. Oh man, boy, do I've got a lot to say about this, but let me take a break first. Yeah, so this is right here the ending of WrestleMania 41, and the audience, they erupt. They are glad to see it. And you know, I just got through watching WrestleMania 17, which is my all-time favorite pro wrestling match ever, honestly, in terms of WWE and stuff like that. When, even though Stone Cold Steve Austin turned heel, that the fan base did not care. They still jumped because they were happy to see Stone Cold get that win for the WWE Championship. And even I was, 'cause I'm a loyal Stone Cold fan, and that's pretty much. The audience didn't care that John Cena cheated and all that stuff. They just wanted to see Cena get that 17th world title win. So yeah, Cena for the first time since, I think, man, 9 years, I think it was. Like, last time he held that championship was in 2016 because he lost the Elimination Chamber. No, it was 2017, so about 8 years. 2017, I think, yeah, because he had beat AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble in 2017 and then lost it to, I think, Bray Wyatt in the Elimination Chamber. So yeah, that being said here, yeah, that's how WrestleMania goes off the air. Honestly, I do think John Cena winning was the right move, and I do think Cody Rhodes chasing is the right move. But here's my thing about this: though it was the right decisions, I thought this could have been executed way better. I like, for starters there, Cody Rhodes, like, I just think, like, making him look conflicted when I've just mentioned baby faces before who would have been like, F it, I'm gonna give you a dose of my own medicine. Having him be conflicted, it brought me back to like when they had Bayley early on in her WWE main roster career. She was in a match where you're supposed to whack your opponent with the Kindle stick, but she just couldn't bring herself to it, throws it down, and Alexa Bliss took advantage. And it took Bayley a long time to recover back from that, and thankfully she ended up becoming one of the all-time greats. But that's kind of what it did here. Like, I don't think that was a good look for Cody Rhodes as the top babyface after overcoming the odds last year with Roman Reigns, just like that, like a low blow and a championship to the face, and then that's it. Like, yeah, I thought they were going to do something much more bigger. I figured Cena would cheat, but I thought it'd be something more grander, like The Rock coming out. And the only reason why I picked Cody Rhodes is because I'm thinking, okay, Stone Cold Steve Austin's in Las Vegas. They've been teasing The Rock through this whole, at least during Elimination Chamber. And so I'm thinking right there is that John Cena is gonna get helped by The Rock and Travis Scott, and Stone Cold's gonna come out and stun The Rock, and we'll get one more WrestleMania moment of Austin giving The Rock the stunner, and then that's where it's gonna end up. And that's what I was thinking. And even if Cena went over, it'd be something where he cheats, but I know, like, they're not gonna want to waste a big Stone Cold Steve Austin run-in moment on something like that. But it kind of looked pretty obvious that Stone Cold probably was just out there for that one moment and stuff and things like that. And then as we go from here, some other things that I had problems in terms of this build up. Yeah, there were a lot of people who were just talking about the build up and complaining and saying Triple H isn't cooking this year for WrestleMania. And I'm like, you know what? Triple H is a slow cooker, but more often than not, he has proven over the last couple of years that it is eventually going to have a big payoff. And so when we get here, let me get some water. All right, so as I was saying, it's usually a big payoff that we get. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather wait till WrestleMania is over and let me judge based on the completion of WrestleMania, and then we can backtrack and see how this goes. So I'll say this. I thought WWE should have not teased The Rock. To have The Rock be there at Elimination Chamber and you really didn't need him. If this is what they had planned all along, there was no reason to do the John Cena and the Rock together. I mean, because they barely mention the Rock. I don't think it's good for your audience, just in any form of storytelling, any form of fiction or TV shows, to do a big tease of something and then barely mention it, and then when you get to the big moment that everything is culminating to not deliver on it. What I felt they should have done is they should have had The Rock say right then and there, hey, I'm not going to be at WrestleMania because I won't be needed. John Cena will take care of business from here. Had he said that, you at least let your audience know, okay, there's going to be no Rock. We still would have been wondering why John Cena showed up with The Rock, but when John Cena doesn't do any of this mentioning of The Rock, doesn't do any, there's hardly any mention of it at all throughout the TV, then you're thinking, okay, something big is going to happen at WrestleMania, and that's where they reveal it. It might get revealed later on, but it didn't get revealed here. WrestleMania is the big payoff. So I do think teasing The Rock was not a good idea to tease him, and he didn't even show up at WrestleMania. I remember a fan was asking The Rock on social media months ago, is it true you're not going to be working at WrestleMania 41? And The Rock basically commented, don't believe that bull crap. And here we are. The Rock did indeed not work WrestleMania 41. So now moving forward, if someone asks, hey, Rock, are you going to work at WrestleMania 42? And he says, no, a lot of people are going to be like, well, can we take it forward? And I do feel like now WWE is treading as far as trust with your audience. When you do big teases like this, like when The Rock shows up, how excited do we get? It's always great to see The Rock, but when The Rock shows up, is it just going to be something like it's just for this moment and we're not going to get a big payoff here at the big show? Like, I think this was not handled really well. And I think there's other stuff they could have done better in this build up. Like, didn't have John Cena for the first 2 weeks after the heel turn. Why not sit down with John Cena and do some sort of video package with him or some sit down interviews for the nights that he couldn't be there? There were a lot of fans who were complaining about the build ups to WrestleMania, and now they probably feel like, they probably feel like they were justified in that and stuff. Having waited it out first, I look at it and it's like, man, this is just, wow, I can't believe they did that like that. I mean, Travis Scott showed up at WrestleMania, but yeah, I just wish they could have been executed better. I wish they would have been very transparent from the start that The Rock's not going to be at WrestleMania. They would have done some sort of storyline to explain why The Rock's not going to be there, so there is no expectation, or maybe they didn't know and they want to hope. The Rock accordingly said in the press conference, essentially that the fans just trust that there always is something planned, and that's why I'm saying there could definitely be something planned later on. But as far as WrestleMania, that's the big show. WWE should have made it clear that WrestleMania, instead of presenting it in like rhymes and riddles, like, okay, is he or is he not? It should have been made clear that The Rock was not going to be a part of this, because honestly, I don't think he really needed The Rock. This was all John Cena. John Cena could have just made the turn, because we never found out why he teamed up with The Rock. So yeah, we didn't get a big moment of Stone Cold coming in. And Austin is fresh, several months removed from knee surgery, so I'm not sure how much he could do physically in the ring anyway. So yeah, who knows if we'll ever get that big last moment with The Rock and Stone Cold getting physical for one more stunner. We'll see how that goes. That being said, while I thought it could have been executed better, like I said, I do think this is the right move. You can have Cody Rhodes chase John Cena for the championship, and now I'm looking forward to John Cena versus Randy Orton, most likely at Backlash, because we can get a John Cena and Randy Orton match, but for the first time, the dynamics is different. Now we'll have John Cena as the heel and Randy Orton as the babyface. I'm looking forward to another CM Punk and John Cena match. That was my favorite match I witnessed in person at Money in the Bank 2011, but this time Cena as the heel and CM Punk as the babyface. So I'm looking forward to seeing John Cena run back some of his classics and hopefully tie it up with some of the up and comers, and eventually, I think before the year's over, you can have Cody Rhodes defeat John Cena and do a redemption storyline where Cena loses the title, but he gets his redemption and he apologizes to the fans and he retires as a babyface. So overall, like I said, I think the right decision, but it could have been done better. As far as the match goes, I did enjoy it. I definitely think it's definitely been one of the better John Cena matches we've seen in recent years. So yeah, really said I got much to complain about the match. I just thought the ending could have been executed a little better to make Cody Rhodes look better as that defiant babyface, but John Cena still found some way of every every trick in the book to be a heel and win. You know, almost like John, like when Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar, while I would have preferred a clean win when he beat him at SummerSlam a few years ago, man, he went all out to try and cheat in everything he could to beat Brock Lesnar, and he did. And I thought I would have loved to seen that level of cheating from John Cena. I thought I was going to take everything, The Rock, Travis Scott, everything to put Cody Rhodes down. He is the man that finally beat Roman Reigns, but yeah, that's how it goes. So there we go for that. Overall, WrestleMania 41. I thought it was not a bad WrestleMania. I think, you know, you think of WrestleManias 11, 9, you know, which are very low and stuff like that. It's not on that level, but I don't think this was a great WrestleMania either. I thought it was okay. It was a solid, okay, good WrestleMania, not bad. But I can say I thoroughly enjoyed WrestleManias 39 and 40 a lot more. So overall, I think out of the WrestleManias that Triple H has booked so far, I thought this was the weakest WrestleMania compared to what those last two WrestleManias gave us. So yeah, overall, like I said, decent show, good show, but I just don't think this will go down among, like, it's not going to be in consideration for the Mount Rushmores of WrestleManias, and I don't think many fans will consider it to be among the top tier greats of all time WrestleManias. Not a bad show, and like I say with NXT when Triple H is running it, and we're starting to see it with Shawn Michaels now. Same thing for this WrestleMania. For WrestleMania 41, you know, you have some when Triple H is booking, you're gonna get some really great shows. You're gonna get some good shows, but when it comes to WrestleMania, I don't think we haven't gotten a bad WrestleMania from Triple H yet, and hopefully we won't ever. This show was not as good, but yeah, like I said, I can't say it was bad. I can't say I sit here and I just thought this was absolutely horrible and wasted my time. No, I don't feel like that way. I did enjoy WrestleMania, but just nowhere near as much as WrestleManias 39 and 40. Alrighty, so with all that said, we're going to hop over to the chat and see what everyone is saying. We'll take a sip of water here, though, for a break. All right, let me scroll up here and see. All right, Earl has left quite a few comments. Let's see. He says, I think last night's main event was better in the ring, and tonight's match was better for the storyline moving forward. Yeah, I will say that. It's a little tough to see where Roman Reigns, the Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins storyline is going to go exactly from here. But overall, I will say that this for the most part right here, it was really good in terms of where they're going here with John Cena. You can see a clear path of where this is all going to lead to. So yeah, I'm excited about the possibilities of a John Cena heel championship run. It might be back to part-time, so I don't know how many times we'll get him throughout the year, but yeah, definitely I can agree with that. Let's see, Earl also says The Rock was not at WrestleMania 41 due to filming commitments for live action Moana movie. So I've heard, and no problem with that. But I think the WWE, if that is indeed the case, I think the WWE should have at least mentioned some sort of storyline reason to explain why The Rock was not going to be at WrestleMania 41. I thought he should have. They should have done that to let the audience know, okay, don't get your expectations on The Rock. It's almost as if they didn't want to say anything because they didn't want to affect any sort of ticket sales or anything like that. But you gotta be honest, that's The Rock is a big deal, and The Rock is a big tease for your audience, and you have to follow up on it. So I just wish there would have been some storyline explanation. Like I said, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, The Rock is probably going to show up at WrestleMania, and we'll see where it goes from there. So yeah, and then you say, and after the match, they tried to talk to Cody, but he just walked past the reporter, so maybe the heel turn coming. yeah, they could probably turn Cody Rhodes heel. The fans certainly was reacting to him like a heel tonight. So I mean, it is what it is there. But I'm not sure if they want to turn Cody heel yet. We'll see. We'll see how the audience reacts. But I think this is just an audience that really wanted to see John Cena get his last big moment before retirement. So it's nothing that really is against Cody Rhodes, like they're getting tired of his act and everything and stuff like that. But hey, we know Cody Rhodes can definitely play a good heel. And then Earl says, here is the potential match for Backlash: Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Let me see here. Roman Reigns, trying to get my chat here, scrolling up to find it. You said, oh, okay. The potential Backlash match: Roman and Cody versus Seth. Roman and Cody versus Seth and Cena. That's if Roman Reigns is gonna work Backlash. I don't know if he's been confirmed for it. I'm expecting Roman Reigns probably gonna take another big break until SummerSlam. So, and I imagine there's gonna be any teaming up for it right now. It'll probably be Roman Reigns and CM Punk, because they both now have a reason for wanting to team up, because they've both been screwed over by Paul Heyman. But yeah, we'll see where they go in terms of the Backlash match here. All right, let's see what else. Earl says here, 9.5 out of 10 match. I wanted to see The Rock. That's high praise, man. For sure. And yeah, I like the match too. Like I said, I just thought the ending could have been executed better, but it's the right outcome. But excellent. And yeah, I wanted to see The Rock come out and Stone Cold come out and do the stunner, and we get what we didn't get last year. But it wasn't meant to be here. And then you say for the whole show. For day 2, I would say 9.2 out of 10. Yeah, that's fine. It's a good match, honestly. Good WrestleMania. Like I said, I can't say it was bad at all. So, and I do think night 2 overall was better than night 1. So, yeah, I can't argue with that. I'm glad you 9.2 is pretty high, and I'm glad you got that much enjoyment out of the show. You said for both days I would do an 8.5 out of 10 because day 2 saved day 1. All right, so you're talking about in terms of the whole show right there, in terms of your rating. Yeah, man, there's still some pretty high praise and all that stuff. Once again, I'm really glad you got good enjoyment out of this WrestleMania, for sure. It's always good to see wrestling fans still getting enjoyment. We all can agree and disagree, but at the end of the day, man, we all are going to enjoy wrestling, and as long as you like what you like, and I like what I like, and everybody finds what they like, I think that's always the important thing. Earl also says the Gunther and Cody match made both look weak because of endings to matches. Well, I know Gunther did tap out quickly when he fought Ilya Dragunov and lost to him that time in NXT. Maybe they ran out of time, but yeah, I agree with what my boy Aaron Riff of NoDQ.com said in his review, which is you want to build up big suspense. They should have had Gunther hold on and really build the anticipation and make it like he's gonna break out of it, and then he decides to tap out, and it could have been this huge moment instead of going like, oh, and he taps in his, because even when I was watching, it was like, oh, okay, he's gonna hit the sleeper arms, like, oh, he tapped out, like, oh, you know, it kind of takes you from it takes you from point A to point C. Like, you just skip over point B. You should have point A, apply the submission, point B, build the drama, point C, then you get the big tap out moment. But here it was like point A, supply mission, and then point C, tap out, like, oh, okay, I guess we're just skipping the drama portion. All right. Yeah, so I can see with that. I'm fine though with Gunther tapping out because of everything he said about Cody, Jey Uso in the storyline. Though I do think Cody did end up looking weak, being conflicted. It's like, no, hit him with the championship and stuff, unless he was looking at the referee, didn't want to get disqualified or something like that, man. It just, yeah, and I'm like, I just thought it would have taken a lot more for Cena to beat Cody Rhodes, because this is the guy that did what no one else could for basically 4 years, and that was defeat Roman Reigns for the championship. Let's see, you say also, I think Stand and Deliver might have been a better than WrestleMania. Yeah, Stand and Deliver was actually awesome. Yeah, those matches all actually delivered really well. So yeah, I can actually agree with you on that. Yeah, Stand and Deliver as a show overall, I do think was much better compared to WrestleMania 41 as a show overall. Let's see. Earl also says thoughts on June 7th with Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank on the same day. Oh, they're on the same day. I didn't know that. Yeah, I forgot to mention in my review that WWE has acquired AAA, and so they're going to be doing NXT and AAA. So, yeah, that's pretty big. This is the biggest wrestling acquisition that WWE's had since, I think, WCW back in 2001. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see what comes from this and everything. And then Earl says, and that said, that Cena is confirmed for Raw. Yeah, that's good. So I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what Cena says tomorrow. At this point, I don't know when we'll get an explanation for why he joined The Rock, but I'm look forward to seeing as far as where the John Cena heel run goes from here. So that's certainly going to be really awesome and everything. That being said, I'm gonna cut out from here. Thank you, Earl, for being so engaging both nights in the chat, and thank you, SMP. Thank you to my brother showing up. It's been just really awesome. Everything. I appreciate the support and all that stuff. I see Earl says they will do Worlds Collide at 3 p.m. Eastern for me, and Money in the Bank at 7 p.m. Eastern for me. Yeah, doing 2 shows on one day. We'll see how that works. At least that's better than doing 4 events in a 24-hour span that they did, like with the Hall of Fame and WrestleMania and SmackDown and NXT. Like, that was just too much to do in one day and everything. But hey, you all, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to cut the stream out of here, and you can join me tomorrow. I'll be back with or later today, because it's midnight now, I'll be back with my ranking of every WWE WrestleMania 41 match. Until next time, take care.